is nice and cosy, isn't it? Welcome to Chinwag yet again. You hear me say this every time. It is always a pleasure. Tonight is a significant pleasure for a number of reasons. 20 years ago, I started a very short-lived record label with my friend over here, Dean Kavanagh, and this gentleman here was the first person who reviewed it. And I was just saying to Helen that I didn't know what I was doing at all. We had this guy who used to DJ at the club, who used to make his own tunes, Rootsman.
Oh yeah.
And he used to bring the tunes to the club on DAT and he'd play them and everybody really liked it. So it was, I thought, well, yeah, let's start a record label. I didn't know what I was doing, but I used to read your column in Echoes, and I used to really like the records you reviewed, and I loved what you wrote about them, and you were the first person, so thanks.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
What have you been up to this week?
Well, okay. This week has been as kind of revisiting my youth, because we went to see, it started with, there's a guy called Robin Banks who went to school with Mick Jones from The Clash, and the Stay Free is about when they were at school, and it's Robin's 60th, which I find really hard to comprehend. But I mean, it's mine next year. And we had a surprise birthday party for him in this pub in Portobello Road. And Mick got up and sang Stay Free. And then Steve Dior, who's like a real name from the Bromley contingent past, he got up and did a set. And followed by Mott the Hoople on Monday at the O2, which was not the right place to see Mott the Hoople. I mean, corporate nightmare, aircraft hangar. But Mick was back there, and we found out that he was doing a secret, very, very secret gig last night at his bunker. He's got this lock-up, which is about half the size of this place, stuffed with memorabilia. And he's got his studio there, and you had Mick Jones and Ian Hunter on the same stage. Now, in about 1971, I used to be following Mott the Hoople, and Mick would be in the dressing room, skulking in the corner, like he was called Little Mick. And it was brilliant to see two generations of, because I used to run Mott the Hoople's fan club. That was my entry into the music business. Well, I've been doing David Bowie's, and then I started doing Mott's. And
I've been doing David Bowie's. And then
no, well, he started at our local club called Friars Aylesbury, and that's where he unveiled Ziggy in January the 29th, 1972. So it was all overlapping with Mott. And I was following Mott around, and Mott split, the Clash formed about 2 years later, and I started following the Clash around. So to see those two on the same stage last night, so I'm still on a Clash Mott buzz.
Yeah. I reckon you must be on just a continual buzz, Chris.
No, not at all. No, it's not. Last year was horrible. This year's brilliant, and I think next year's going to be maybe the best year of my life.
Yeah, I reckon so. 60 next year.
Yeah, I know.
No, that is wicked, man. Is that? 60's the new 30.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I still feel like the guy in the mock dressing room. You know, like 16, not 60.
Well, that's it. I mean, I was saying earlier on, we were sat having a chat, and we were talking. I saw you in that documentary, the what's it called, the Mott the Hoople?
The Ballad of Mott the Hoople.
Ballad of Mott the Hoople, that was on BBC 4 a few weeks ago, and
Right.
you were describing that moment where they came on stage and you saw them, and you know, I relate to that because I had a really similar experience when I was 12, you know, seeing Thin Lizzy playing for the first time and having the top of my brain scraped off.
When was that?
In Ibiza.
Oh, right. Yeah, that.
I was 12, you know,
Right,
it wasn't Rave Nation or anything like that. It wasn't Acid House. It was.
Yeah, they were a real fixture in Ibiza, weren't they? No. Yeah. Well, I mean, 1969, on December the 6th, it will be the anniversary of 44 years since I saw Mott. And they played my school dance, Aylesbury Grammar School, and I wasn't allowed in because I was only like 14 or something. And they wouldn't let me in. You know, these stuffed prefect kind of head boy.
Toffs.
Toffs, yeah. A lot of David Cameron type people. And they wouldn't let me in. And I went to the pub over the road. And Mott was sitting in the corner. Because you can't, you know, mistake Ian Hunter.
Well, especially not back then anyway. I mean.
No. And he's in the corner, and he saw me, and I'd seen him the week before at Friars. Yeah. And he was like, "You coming to the gig then?" I'm like, No, I'm only 14, no one let me in. Right, you're our roadie. An overend, who back then was about, in his platform boots, he was about 7 foot tall. And so I went next to him, and he kind of put his coat over me. Like, you know, when they shuttle you out of a thing. And I got in that way, and I hid under the PA, and watched the set, but I had to be home at a certain time.
Like 10 o'clock curfew.
Something like that, yeah. And I had to leave. And so I sneaked out from under the table. I'd hid from all the teachers all night. And Mick Rouse saw me leaving, and he went, "And this one's for our friend Chris, who's got to go on." And the light went down on me. So I got in trouble, you know, I got suspended and all this. But that was life-turning stuff, because when you got your favourite band dedicating a song to you at the age of 14.
Yeah, I mean, that's serious entry-level rock and roll stuff, that, isn't it?
Yeah. I never looked back, you know, and just followed Mott from there, and then got involved with Bowie, you know, because he came to the club and he was this sort of nervous bloke with long blonde hair. And he played at the club and he went down really well. And afterwards he said, "Oh, when I come back here, I'm going to look I can't do a David Bowie impersonation." No.
Hello. Yeah. Visions of swastikas.
Yeah. But he did come back. We got him back like 3 months later, and he said, "Look, it's going to be a bit different tonight." And he'd already had a haircut.
Right, yeah.
And he came on to like Clockwork Orange music in the jumpsuit and all that. And that's the first time Ziggy had been seen.
Had he been in the pub earlier on in that same stuff?
Bowie, no, he didn't go in the pub. No. But but he came on, did that, and afterwards he went, "Told you I'd be different," and that was it. Start of Ziggy, you know. And but there were all these girls flocking around him, you know, because there was all that stuff going. You know, front page of Melody Maker, Bowie going, "I'm gay," you know. But no. All the local girls were clamouring around him, saying, "Why do you wear makeup?" "I don't want to go around looking like a dead bear." You know, and I always remember that. And it just went from there, really. You know, just following Mott. And it was like a forerunner to punk. You know, just the way that people stopped wearing long greatcoats and having long stringy hair and tie-dye t-shirts. Suddenly all that went out the window, and it paved the way for punk. Yeah. And then Mick resurfaced as Mick Jones with The Clash, and I saw their 6th gig at Leighton Buzzard Community Centre in October 1976. And that started a very happy relationship that continues to this day.